Let me just give me a minute. I want to take your time. Look. Okay, can you swear here?
You can swear on the
Okay.
internet.
Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you!
This is Joseph Fares, Swedish-Lebanese film director and co-founder of independent game developer Hazelight Studios. He attended the Game Awards in Los Angeles, California in 2017, appearing on a live stream in order to promote his upcoming co-op title, A Way Out. Like any other interview in this setting would normally go, the plan was for Fares to answer a few questions about what the audience should expect, such as the story and mechanics, and for a short demo trailer to play out before he would promptly leave the stage. However, things took a strange turn when Fares decided to go off on a rather crude tangent. This now viral rant was all in regard to the video game medium as a whole, and how it generally didn't get enough recognition as a true form of art when compared to other forms of entertainment like the movies. This unwavering passion and confidence for his newest piece of work instantly caught the attention of gamers all over the world, who waited with bated breath for a title that instantly had the highest of expectations. And when the game was released on March 23, 2018, fans quickly realized that Fares wasn't just blowing smoke. This game was something more. On the surface, A Way Out is an action-adventure thriller, a fun puzzle-solving shoot-'em-up co-op experience with a plot that consists of a prison break and taking down the bad guy. We've seen it before, so what makes this game so special? I mean, I went into this game with extremely low expectations. Sitting down next to my best friend as we booted up for the first time, I was hardly even excited. In my mind, this game's floor was The Escapist with better graphics, and its ceiling was a poor man's interactive Shawshank Redemption. Little did I know that A Way Out would be one of the most memorable gaming experiences that I would ever go through, one that would leave a long-lasting impact. And looking back, there's no other person I would want to have experienced it with than my best friend. It is crucial that you play this game with the right person, someone who can digest emotionally thought-provoking material while sharing a similar interest in action-packed games, which leads to this game's single greatest asset, the fact that it knows when to take itself seriously and knows when not to. Let's talk about why this works so effectively. We are introduced to Vincent Moretti and Leo Caruso, two highly contrasting characters who find themselves locked up in prison. For some context, I played as Leo and my friend played as Vincent. Vincent is portrayed as a rational and level-headed individual who possesses a calm and strategic demeanor, often thinking before acting. His strengths lie in his resourcefulness and ability to analyze situations critically. He is the classic movie trope of the man with a plan. On the other hand, we have Leo, who is impulsive, hot-headed, and driven by his emotions. He possesses a more aggressive and action-oriented approach to situations, often relying on his physical strength and quick reflexes. He's the renegade figure who challenges authority and brings an element of chaos to the narrative. They embody classic movie cliches that harkens back to the golden age of cinema. Some may think they're too cheesy, but I think they fit the tone of the game brilliantly. Leo's impulsiveness is often juxtaposed with Vincent's calculated approach, creating an engaging contrast between the two. This not only makes for some truly entertaining banter and humor, but it also creates a tension when it comes to in-game decision-making. They're the classic odd couple bromance, both believable and charming. After their initial reluctance to work together, they agree to team up to break out in the game's intro sequence upon learning that they have a common enemy, a man named Harvey who has dealt them each their own personal loss. It's worth mentioning that for a game's title that is seemingly entirely focused on finding a way out, the prison break itself only takes up a quarter to a third of the game's total playtime. Therein lies only the beginning of the emotional journey that the players are presented with throughout the narrative. Initially, Leo and Vincent are strangers forced to work together to escape. However, as they navigate through the treacherous path towards true freedom, their initial skepticism gradually transforms into mutual trust and reliance. Their bond deepens, and a genuine friendship begins to blossom in a way that feels very organic over the course of a 6-hour playthrough. As players, we are required to place our trust in our co-op partner. We must communicate, coordinate, and collaborate effectively in order to progress through the game. This emphasis on trust not only enhances the cooperative gameplay mechanics, but it prompts us to contemplate the significance of trust in our own relationships and how it can be both fragile and transformative. Throughout the course of the narrative outside the prison, the complexities of Leo and Vincent's lives are explored in depth as the two gradually open up to each other about their pasts. These moments of vulnerability deepen their connection as they discovered shared experiences and understand the motivations that drive their actions. Leo's character arc is centered around finding redemption and reclaiming his place as a family man, as he seeks to repair the broken relationships caused by his criminal lifestyle. Vincent's motivations are more or less the same, as he strives to rekindle his relationship with his estranged wife and to be the father he always wanted to be for his newborn child. It's in these moments that the game demonstrates its mastery in knowing when to dial back the action and allow the weight of the narrative to take center stage. As players, we feel the weight of their determination, fueled by the personal vendettas they hold against Harvey, as the hunt to track him down officially begins. This section of the game is where the gameplay and cinematography really shine, as the focus of the game's objectives shift from less creative problem solving to more high-intensity combat, making for some very impressive action set pieces. The game blurs the line between the actual gameplay and cutscenes, seamlessly transitioning from intense action sequences to impactful narrative moments. This fluidity enhances the immersion and keeps the players fully invested, never allowing the momentum to falter. We're introduced to new mechanics such as driving and shooting, sometimes even at the same time. The gunplay and most of the animations aren't anything to write home about. In fact, it felt a lot like Just Cause 2. This is hardly a negative. If anything, it just adds to the over-top fun of the whole experience. Couple that with some stunningly detailed environments and a noteworthy soundtrack, and A Way Out is evidently an interactive movie. And like any good movie, there's a twist. After over 5 hours of extravagant gameplay climaxing with Harvey's death, Leo and Vincent are surrounded by dozens of police officers upon landing. At this point, the narrative takes a drastic shift in tone, as Hazelight, after showing mere glimpses of introspection, has decided it's time for the audience to take this game seriously. Very seriously. In hindsight, the big plot twist isn't all that revolutionary, but it remained concealed well enough on my first experience through clever use of red herrings and subtle foreshadowing to the point where my jaw nearly hit the floor. My best friend, who myself and Leo alike had been working with and bonding over the course of our journey, had been revealed as an undercover cop. Through a flashback, we once again see Leo's deal with Harvey gone wrong, but this time, the camera pans out to reveal Vincent listening in on them. It was a sting all along, and the man who was murdered alongside Leo was Vincent's brother. The revelation turns everything we thought we knew about Vincent and Leo's relationship upside down, shattering our preconceived notions. By no means did I think this game was leading up to a happy ending, but what I didn't expect was an ending that would fully leave me in tears. Prior to this moment, me and my best friend had been having the time of our lives, laughing at both the dynamic between our two characters and some of the rather goofy mechanics, marveling at the impressive movie-like action set pieces, running from the cops and shooting up bad guys. We did everything together, and all of those memories are torn away in an instant as Vincent raises his gun on Leo. When the two come face to face for one final showdown, their health bars appear on the screen for the first time ever, pitting you and your partner in crime against one another. As players, we are left grappling with conflicting emotions, torn between our loyalty to the characters we've grown to care for and the shocking revelation that now paints Vincent in a morally ambiguous light. I was fighting for my own life, but I also didn't want to take the life of my best friend. During the whole fight, I just kept saying, it doesn't have to be like this, but I couldn't help but think, yes, it does. The inevitable confrontation leads to an irreversible outcome, one that leaves us shattered. What makes the ending cut so deep is the fact that the player has to mash X to get to the gun first, a mechanic that we become all too familiar with. It was something that me and my best friend had fun with in a meaningless arm wrestling minigame prior to this moment. He had won that time, but I came out on top this time. I had reached the gun first, but when I pulled that trigger, it certainly didn't feel like I had won, like I had beaten him. I had lost too. I'd not only taken the life of my partner, but a well-respected police officer who simply flew too close to the sun. Loss evidently changes a person. Too caught up with avenging his brother, he lost sight of the most important things in life, like reconnecting with his wife and becoming a father for his newborn child. Vincent's death reverberates throughout the narrative, leaving a void that cannot be filled. As Leo fulfills his dying wish by giving his letter to his wife, we see the aftermath of it all. We witness the impact it has on the characters left behind, their lives forever altered by Vincent's absence. Seeing Vincent's funeral as he leaves behind a widow and their newborn child, and Leo's grief as he continues his fugitive life on the run, this time with his family by his side. The bittersweet reflection on what could have been, the dreams left unfulfilled, and the poignant realization that life can be cruel and unpredictable. I found myself even more torn up than my friend was, and I wasn't even the one playing as Vincent. And when the screen finally faded to black as the phenomenal score comes to a close, we were both left speechless. It had undoubtedly established a sense of believability and anguish, leaving us with a mix of emotions and a lasting impact that few games achieve. In the span of 6 hours, I went from falling out of my chair from laughing so hard, to being thoroughly engaged in the narrative and action scenes, then to finally crying my eyes out after everything we just went through. This tonal shift is a testament to the game's commitment to delivering a multifaceted experience, one that I'll never forget. On the other hand, if Vincent reaches the gun first, we have Leo's death. Stabbed in the back by the man he trusted the most, the emotional aftermath is filled with confusion, anger, and a profound sense of loss, not only for Leo, but for the potential future he had envisioned. Leo's story serves as a tragic reminder of the harsh realities that can shape a person's life. His involvement in criminal activities was not born out of malicious intent, but rather out of desperation and a misguided sense of providing for his loved ones. And there's been some discourse from fans about which ending is better, and that's just it. There is no better ending. No matter which one you end up with, you lose. The one who survives has to live with the guilt of what they had done, and the one who dies leaves behind a grieving widow and child. The chosen character, with a heavy heart, embraces their fate, knowing that their sacrifice will enable their partner to achieve true freedom, to achieve a way out, truly solidifying the fact that tragedy can be beautiful. Good stories leave the audience feeling good, but great stories leave the audience feeling. Hazelight Studios accomplished just that with A Way Out. This game and the characters within it had depth, as do our own lives, reminding us that life itself is a delicate balance between joy and sorrow, action and introspection. A Way Out never pretended to be something that it wasn't. It didn't shy away from being the fun puzzle-solving shoot-'em-up co-op experience when it was necessary, nor did it shy away from the contemplative moments. It was cheesy, and it was classy. It was ugly, and it was beautiful. It was tragic, and it was exciting. Above all else, it was real. The emotional investment I carried throughout the course of this game and beyond was unlike anything I'd ever experienced, which is especially impressive considering it had such a short playtime. It challenges us to examine our own values, confront our past actions, and reflect on the complexities of human relationships. It's a testament to the artistic potential of the gaming medium, and serves as an inspiring example for future narrative-driven experiences, the very thing that Joseph Fares passionately preached during his rant prior to the release. Next time you aren't sure how to feel about an experience, reflect and embrace the journey you just went on, and allow yourself to be moved. Games truly are an art form. Enjoy them while you can, and become immersed in the ones that aren't afraid to take themselves seriously.